bought and they started working on it. It took about 10 years. It takes a long time to make a movie. The first director of it was actually the Australian director, George Miller, who did the Mad Max films and Babe, and was a real a fan of science fiction and space and was excited about doing Contact as a movie. But then with the machinations of Hollywood, he was dropped and a new director, Robert Zemeckis, who had done Forrest Gump and the Back to the Future movies, was selected. And at one of the first production meetings, Carl had asked me to sort of supervise the animation, the way space was depicted, because as Bryan said, in most movies it's done completely erroneously. But it's not entirely the fault of the filmmakers. It's hard to get this right. And one of my favorite examples of that is the film 2010, which was a sequel to 2001 and involved going to Jupiter. The computer graphics people who were making Jupiter, they consulted with astronomers, and the astronomers said, well, when you see Jupiter in the Great Red Spot, there's kind of cyclonic circulation in the red spot, very much as in a cyclone or a hurricane. And the filmmakers then spent a lot of money making the sequence, and what they did was, rather than have the circulation within the red spot, they had the whole red spot turning end over end like a football, which is completely wrong. And in fact, if you see 2010, you'll notice when you see the red spot, they cut away from it very quickly, but you can actually see that it's so it's hard to get this stuff right. And it was very important to Carl that it be gotten right. But when we had our first meetings with Zemeckis, Zemeckis said, well, we've seen space in so many movies that he really saw it as a human story, and he didn't want to have space in it at all. And that was very disturbing to Carl, because he thought that the people who liked the book would expect to see space. And so one of my first tasks was, well, we said, well, people have seen spaceships and aliens and ray guns, but they haven't seen space itself, the universe. So I had to convince them that there were some visual possibilities in that. So this was one of the concept pieces that convinced Zemeckis that we should put space in. Here it's an imaginary view from a planet with a moon looking towards the center of the Milky Way galaxy past these dust clouds which block our view. And here you see the entrance to a wormhole, about which a little more later.